So as you guys see, we just sanded down the first fender and got it taped off where we're painting just the outside. So all the surrounding area is kind of sprayed down with water. That way we don't have any dust coming up or anything like that. So now we're getting ready to put on some promoter. We got it just popped up right now, let it dry. Tape is still underneath it. And probably gonna put a clear coat on it. See if it matches color wise. And for the most part, it looks like it does. I mean, it's really not that bad for a rattle can job. I mean, like tape and stuff in the corners to take off, but this is a finer example of what that looks like, and that's actually in the material itself. And I didn't feel like taking the time to fill on those pinholes and sand it down and do all that. Not a big deal to me, but just something worth noting. As soon as I finish putting the fenders on, I've got to run and head to the shop to get the frame pulled. So what we're going to be doing is pulling out this side of the frame rail and the very end of it over just a little bit so we can fit the bumper. So I got everything done except for the nuts on the bottom. We have not put those on yet because it is time to clean up. As you can tell, this is my painting mat and there are metal shadings, sharp ones everywhere. But cleanup is more important right now, so I don't track all of these all over the garage. So just put them on the impact and just run them up there. I think it's like 80 foot-pounds of torque, something like that. So I got to get some acetone on a rag and clean up this overspray real quick. After getting the frame pulled, as you guys saw, got that squared away, straightened up. And yeah, it's a lot better, feels a lot better. Got that little gap closed off, just little things here and there. Ended up hitting the drill, that little spot right there, as you can see, it knocked some paint off. But it's not a big deal because we already got that new grill anyways. And not only that, but there's already other damage beforehand, as you can see right there. So some body damage from the accident. So putting in the rear coil spacers. Looking at putting the stock drive shaft back in the front, which we got to find the stock yoke adapter, I think, or whatever, that goes to the transfer case. The one that's currently in there right now is making some noise, so we got to rip that out, see what the deal is. Dreaded thing of cutting the exhaust tip off because it was welded all the way around. So made some cuts with the angle grinder. Rear coil spacers are in. It was really quick. One thing that held me back a little bit was this aftermarket bracket for the extended steel brake line. It's kind of in the way of this 10 mil, so I had to use the open end wrench to work it off, so that took a lot longer. Managed to put the stock exhaust back in. As you can see, this is bent, but now it seems like it's sitting more level, which is sweet. Went ahead and torqued all 4 bolts to 80 foot-pounds. What I noticed is when you do that, it starts to kind of dimple in the metal on the powder coat here, which has cracked powder coat before in the past I've seen, so I don't really know what they expect you to do. We got the tramp stamp on. I've got like a bolt scrap pile here from over the years working on Jeeps, and dug through it. Ended up finding 2 perfect nut and bolts, Allen head bolts for the tag. So I think we have decided to wire into the factory license plate light. So we got that plug there, 2 wires, should be 12 volt and out of ground. We're trying to figure out how we're going to get this back up through the cab. I pulled out all this plastic trim, pop this loose, pull this back, and then pull out this rubber grommet for this whole entire wiring harness for the tail light and all that stuff, I assume. Cut this plug off right here. Leave enough room for when I ever put it back on. And then we're just gonna run those 2 wires up through the grommet. And then we're gonna run some extension wire down this paneling underneath this weather stripping right here. So we'll tuck it under, make it nice, and yeah, we'll connect it right here. That's no big deal. I mean, I got the transfer case in neutral too, just in case. But I'm turning it with my foot here, turning the tire since it's open diff. Taking a look. So one bolt was already missing, as you can see. And the other one was just kind of like hand tight with a 1/2-inch wrench. So I just went ahead and pulled it all the way out, which this is it. Looks like a fine thread, grade 8 bolt. I think I'm gonna pull all of them out as long as it takes, just to make sure they're all tight and put Loctite on them, because I think that's the noise we've been hearing. You can see the head of that bolt has got a gap in it, so it's kind of showing us that the bolts have backed out. So can't really fit a socket on it because this is too large, too thick. So I kind of having to work with a wrench here, open-end wrench, so it's not the funnest thing. And then greaser, let it soak in. Got the tag relocated, stock exhaust on. You guys can see those little changes here and there. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. This is the first time actually looking at it as a whole with the bumper on and everything like that. It's pretty sweet. Pretty level looking. I think it's gonna look really good when we put the 40s on. All right, so I pressure washed all the main gunk off, and what I'm about to do now, mix up a ball of soap and a rag. I'm gonna go back through and clean the actual, just wipe it with some soap and a rag, as if you're washing the paint. This is a fender wheel, so I'm not really worried about scratching it, obviously. So yeah, look at the difference in that. But pressure washed all up in there too, so that's a lot better. Got a lot of buildup out of there. Got some mud out of there. So I pressure washed up here, got all that dirt out of that seam or whatever that is. Got all the dirt that was trapped behind the old license plate bracket, all cleaned out. Nice and spick and span. It feels good, squeaky clean. Nice and clean, we ride around nice and clean, not have to worry. And that'll pretty much be it. That'll pretty much be all cleaned out, other than, you know, a few small things here and there. We'll do a detail later, but as far as erasing the big main layer, it feels really good. Getting the fender wells cleaned is a really major thing for the whole Jeep. It's crazy what it does. Hardtop all clean. So I'd say we're ready to mount some 40s. Yeah, I should be going to pick up the wheels here soon, so I'm gonna run up there and get them, and probably start mounting them early in the morning. So
Alaska, 3 weeks. Alaska. So he's 3 weeks on, home for a week. Yeah, he's just some kind of industrial inspection.
I've never, like, how do you find stuff like that?
Well, I mean, I guess that's why they don't break. I mean, look how thick they are. I mean, look at that. They're half as thick as that. So
yeah.
So I mean, I guess. I mean, look at the Jeep. The Jeep is less than
yeah.
that. I've never seen somebody tear up one of these wheels.
No, I haven't either. And the good thing about them is they have steel inserts for the threads. So
yeah, I like that.
The wheels in here, super excited. I literally I just picked him up. The whole wheel is powder coated, so that's like front to back, inside and out. And we got the rings inside. Gloss black. So all four in there. Good to go. So I'm about to start mounting the 40s on the slab, so a little bit more room. Yeah, see if I can put it in neutral without starting it. Yes, on the JK you still can do that. I don't think you can do that on the JL and the JT. A little bit more room out of here. It's just hard because of Stinger. Ball rolling. Alright guys, I have soap mixed up. Got all the bolts there. Just aired them up. They are dirty from beating the tire, all the dirt. Trying to wash that out, and yeah, they look really good. Never seen like a color that bright like on the inside of the wheel, other than Big Sauce, you know, having the gecko green. That was cool. But yeah, we're gonna get these bad boys put on in a second. But yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good for the way that it is right now, so I'm pretty happy with it. You guys can see on the rear slabs, you know, it just looks all white in there. It's so cool. Plain it turned out. I really like the Cooper 40s a lot once they're mounted on the wheel and aired up. Was wondering how they were gonna look, but really do like how tall and narrow they are. You know, it looks pretty sweet, but you can see like the white wheel on the inside. We'll get you guys a better look sometime. Yeah, this is the first look at it out the house. You know, we did a lot of detailing up in the fender wells, stuff like that, in preparation for all this happening. So definitely paid off. So get some more footage for you guys here in a little bit.